So hello everyone, this is a short information video about tax-related identification theft and verification issues. My name is Andrew Kim, and I am a second-year law student at the University of Minnesota Law School. I'm working as a student attorney at the University of Minnesota Tax Clinic. So first, let's define tax-related ID theft. Tax-related ID theft occurs when someone uses your stolen personal information such as your social security number or individual taxpayer identification number, to file a tax return claiming a fraudulent refund. Tax-related ID theft also includes employment-related ID theft, where a person uses your social security number to get a job and reports the income under your social security number. It is notable that ID theft is the most common category of consumer complaints received by the Federal Trade Commission in 2022. For example, according to the Federal Trade Commission, 22% of the total complaints were related to ID theft. Finally, it's really difficult to know whether someone used your ID for tax purposes until you actually file your returns. Tax-related theft causes problems to taxpayers because when tax-related ID theft happens, that may cause delayed refunds, delayed credits, and in most serious circumstances, taxpayers might face potential legal consequences. Although it is hard to know whether tax-related ID theft has occurred until you file your tax return, there are several signs of tax-related ID theft helpful to know. First, you get a letter from the IRS inquiring about a suspicious tax return you did not file. If you didn't file your tax return yet, but got a letter from the IRS asking you about a suspicious tax return filed under your name, then it is very likely that someone has used your ID for tax purposes. Second, you can't e-file your tax return because someone else already e-filed a tax return with your ID. Third, if you get a tax transcript, such as an account transcript in the mail that you did not request, then it indicates that someone else might have requested a tax transcript using your ID. Fourth, if someone steals your ID for tax purposes and use it, you may get many different IRS notices, such as the notice that your online account has been created in your name, your existing online account has been accessed or disabled when you took no action, or you owe additional tax or refund offset, or that you have had collection actions taken against you for a year you did not file a tax return. You may also get the IRS records that indicates that you received wages or other income from an employer you did not work for. Lastly, if someone uses your ID for tax purposes, you may be assigned an employer identification number when you didn't request one. So, how do we respond to tax-related ID theft? First, if you get any notice from the IRS, respond to it immediately. Call the number provided in that notice immediately. Next, if you are unable to e-file your return, you should file a paper tax return and complete Form 14039, which is an identity theft affidavit, and attach it to the back of your completed paper tax return and mail that to the IRS location based upon the state you reside. If you do all that, you will receive a letter from the IRS acknowledging the IRS received your Form 14039, and your case will be assigned to IRS's Identity Theft Victim Assistance Organization, where they will be researched and resolved, and by an employee with specialized identity theft training. After filing Form 14039, you will be contacted when your case is resolved. This generally takes about 120 days, but it might take longer. And please do not submit duplicate forms of 14039 or contact the IRS about the status of your identity theft claim after you file Form 14039. You may also report your case and get a recovery plan at identitytheft.gov or call 800-908-4490 for special assistance. If someone e-filed and claimed your dependent, you won't be able to e-file your tax return claiming your dependents. Then you should file a paper tax return claiming your dependents and mail the completed tax return to the IRS. Your refund will be delayed while the IRS investigate your case. Paper tax returns can take up to like 6 to 8 weeks for the IRS to process it. You may receive a letter from the IRS stating that your child was claimed on another return. It will explain what to do, either file and amend the return or do nothing. The other person who you claim the dependent will get the same letter. So if one of you do not file and amend the return, that removes the child-related benefits, then you may be audited by the IRS to determine who can claim the dependent. Then provide supporting documentation that proves your dependent's identification, such as copies of birth certificates, proof of identity, and documents that show your dependent lived with you at the same address for more than half of the calendar year. Please refer to Form 886-8-DEP for further instructions. We have several measures to take to prevent tax-related ID theft before that happens. First, use a security software with firewall and antivirus protections. Second, make sure security software is turned on and can automatically update. Third, encrypt sensitive files such as tax records stored on your computer. Next, use strong passwords. 5, avoid phishing mails and scam phone calls and texts. And do not download attachments from unknown or suspicious emails. Lastly, do not reveal your passwords, PINs, or other personal security-related data. If you're facing any legal problems regarding your tax return, or if you need any legal assistance related to your tax issues, please contact the Minnesota Law Clinics at 612-625-5515 or email lawclinic@umn.edu. Our tax clinic helps your tax issues, especially if it's related to tax law, but please remember that we do not file your taxes for you. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.